What if I told you that solo play could be as simple as turning on easy mode? When I first started looking into the hobby, it was overwhelming, but one thing changed that for me. Today we're going to take a look at what I believe is almost a solo play cheat code. Similarly to video games, I believe that we have what I would refer to as difficulty modes in the TTRPG hobby. They're easy to pick up games and hard to pick up games, even more so in the solo world. The things that contribute to that difficulty are numerous, and I'll do my best to unpack some of them in this video. I think that hard mode is pretty easy to understand. It would be a game that is extremely steep to learn, but has a rewarding payoff when you master it. I think of games like Elden Ring or Bloodborne, but there's something beautiful about a game that doesn't require the grind. A game that doesn't require dozens of hours to master. Those games, the ones that feel like you're playing on easy mode, are a great place to start in your journey, so you can ramp up over time to bigger and bigger things in the future. So, if we want to understand what solo play could look like in easy mode, let's start with what you need to get going in a solo campaign. I'll try to cover everything you need to really run a solo campaign, but I could be missing something that you think is vital, and if so, let me know in the comments. First, you need a world. I think you could probably get by with a loose idea of areas on a map, but if you really are wanting to get into it, you'll probably want a hex map. Something that's fleshed out enough for you to know if there's a dangerous or safe area, if there's a settlement or a ruin, whether a river runs through it, which was devastatingly sad as a movie, and that ending was heart-wrenching. But I digress. So, you need a world. You need characters. And here's where I'll break the news to someone out there who's watching. Even though it's called solo play, most people that I've seen play do it while running multiple characters. But you can play as one person if you want to. So you need options, and compelling options at that. And I immediately think of D&D and its insanely in-depth character creation that can take like an hour the first time you make a character. I mean, there are entire websites breaking down the best ways to play a character or what to take to make sure you aren't missing out on some crazy interaction. And there are so many choices. Then you need monsters, the kind of monster you want to hunt down and take its head for a bounty, or the kind you want to create an unexpected friendship with that will ultimately lead to the two of you being spirited away to a far-off realm where you now have to journey back home by hitchhiking on dragonflies. And you need stat blocks for when the monster unceremoniously falls off the dragonfly to his untimely demise. So then you need that juicy loot, as well as items to inspire your stories that drive your characters into the dark dungeon to retrieve them. Items that your character can pull out in a clutch situation to save the day. You need the ability to quickly reference those items also, and how to decide what characters receive for an adventure or anything. You also need rules. Rules are less fun to talk about, but they guide the fun, I guess. So you need them. And bonus if they're easy to reference. And you need some kind of solo guide. That could be your mind or an oracle or prompts. Oh, and you also need encounter tables and NPC tables and all the other tables. I mean, all of them. And that's a lot of stuff that you need. And you can find it in so many different places. Seriously, so many. And I don't think that you can really go wrong with it as long as you're enjoying the game. But, in my opinion, solo play is easier when you get into it and it's simple. So, what if you could have it all in one place? My friend, you can. Oh, wrong book, actually. This book was probably the greatest asset to me when I first started my solo journey. Shadowdark, along with its solo supplement, SoloDark, eased me into the hobby like a sleeping baby who is being lowered into the crib by an adult using every ounce of care and compassion in their body so as not to wake up that sleeping bundle of joy. And I'm not even exaggerating. If I didn't have Shadowdark, I probably never would have started solo play at all. And that's not to say that Shadowdark is the best way to get into the hobby. I think that you should play whatever you have. Use the resources there at your disposal. But Shadowdark is it's like booting up Halo on your old trusty Xbox back in the day and selecting easy and wrecking in co-op with your brother. And if you didn't have that experience, I'm sorry, because Halo with my older brother was peak childhood. Anyway, let's flip through the book some so I can highlight what makes this book an absolute gem in what I would consider to be solo play and easy mode. Whether or not you've seen Shadowdark before, I want to walk through why I think it is such a valuable solo resource. So let's take a look at this very well put synopsis at the very front of the book to start. So, what defines this game? Speed, danger, and simplicity. Magic is perilous, and battles are fast and deadly. Being clever is crucial for survival. Shadowdark RPG is rules light and intuitive. It encourages quick decisions rather than hunting through the rulebook for answers. And then how to play. Everything you need to play or run a game is in this tome. Turn to the next section to get familiar with the basics. So it says, everything you need to play or run a game is in this tome. And listen, I love D&D, but you need at least 3 books to have everything you would need to solo it. And you may know most of the rules, but it's going to slow you down. This book is light, it's intuitive, and it is meant to blend in and not take up much space. And that's what I've found it to do. And for those rules or situations that come up a lot, you've got the front and back of the book that have some quick reference tables. As we pass over the basics, we find the characters. So right here, we've got these characters and just a really quick overview of what they can do and what the language you might see is. And then you can see all of the ancestries. And then this is what I want to highlight right here. This is the entire page for the fighter. If you open up the D&D Player's Handbook and you look at fighter, you're going to see dozens of pages about subclasses, all the things they can do, all the things that you know that they need to do, the things that you're probably going to forget that you can do, etc., etc. But this fighter is one page, and a small page at that. And so then the priest as well is, you have the spell list here, or the spells known, and thief, etc. You keep going. You get titles, deities, starting gear, languages, all of this stuff, and it's only in what I would consider to be a very manageable amount of pages, along with how you level up, random character generation, all the way to magic. So, all of that being looked at, we have just over 30 pages in total that cover all of the characters. There are other characters, different supplements, or things that were unlocked during the creation of this game, but you can get by with this starting out like that. And character creation takes all of 5 minutes. So it's super light and easy to get into. Then we've got the magic, which is very simple with no real spell slots to track. You only pass or fail. And when you fail, the spell's gone until the next day, unless you critically fail, in which case there's some rules for that I won't get into, but they're manageable rules, and they're right here. So you have wizard mishaps, you've got scrolls and wands, and then right here, the priest spell list, and then the wizard spell list. And in very plain and simple terms, you have each spell written out so you can know exactly what to do, and you won't get bogged down with it. So that's the magic system of this game. Very intuitive, very quick. Then you've got gameplay, which is helpful, but simple rules that are easy to pick up on or reference. So as you're playing, you've got what is adventuring, you've got how to roll the dice. So very beginner friendly, but it doesn't take, like, I don't know if you guys ever explained D&D to a friend and like really how to play it, but man, that first session, those first few sessions are crazy because you're explaining everything over and over again. And this does a pretty good job at laying it out right there. Then you've got how to use your stats, making checks, the time and how it passes, turn order, crawling, all of these different things you find along with overland travel, which is essential for navigating a hex map. Downtime, carousing, so many different things that are available for you, along with this right here. If you were just getting started out and you were on your own playing solo, you could just read through this example that's 4 pages long that would tell you just what a general interaction looks like in the game. And then from there, you can apply that to your own game. So next we have the Game Master section. And this is where you'll learn some of the how to run the game portion, along with some crazy valuable resources that we'll get into. So we've got your role, which you're also the player and you're the GM if you're soloing. So that one is a bit interesting. Then you've got core ethos, you've got balance, you've got running the game, all of these different things. Light is a very big thing in SoloDark or Shadowdark, but you don't have to follow that rule exactly how it states, which is also really nice. The flexibility of this game is very fun. Then you've got random encounters, and this is when another extremely valuable thing when you're just starting out at the beginning, because you can reference this and you can see how close, or if they're close, near, or far when you roll an encounter. Then you've got what they're doing and then their reaction as well, because sometimes you may meet something that you would think is a hostile enemy, but they're actually really curious about you, or they really need something from you. And that's just really fun. You've got traps and hazards, which are really great when you're exploring things. And then you've got these pages right here, which I think are so great. Any random table that you can find in solo play is so helpful because it gets you out of that rut that you might be in your head where you are making all of the decisions, and it feels like you would just want maybe someone else in a group game to say, oh, let's do this, or the GM to say, while you all are doing this, this happens. And so pages like this, where something happens, or rumors, they can really get the creative juices flowing. And then you have different adventure sites, different adventure generators, NPCs, because you're going to be running into those. And it's so great. You have rival crawling groups and NPC names. And then you have what I think is just so valuable, and that is a table or a series of tables that help you develop a dungeon. And you can do that on the fly, you can do that beforehand, and it tells you very quickly and simply how to draw out a dungeon, how to make a dungeon. And then this one right here, this overland hex map generator. This entire map that I made was made using this table. And you may see there's like a little tower there, there's a little mushroom there are villages around. All of these things were prompted by this table. And I just took like 30 minutes to an hour and filled it all out. I spent more time than probably most by drawing it all in, but you can do something as simple as just writing a letter in a hex and then marking if it's dangerous or safe or whatever. And then it will help you build things out. So then you can make an individual settlement. I've made a video on that and it was so easy. Honestly, it gave me so much information that I could build an entire campaign out just from a single settlement. And that's really fun when you think about it, because you can make your play as small or as big as you would like with this game. You've got taverns, food, shop generation, all of these different things, along with this awesome artwork. And then you get into such a valuable source right here, where it is just dozens of pages packed with random encounters. And again, like I said earlier, you need these to get you going. And as you're rolling up an encounter, like in a jungle where it's unsafe, and you roll a 1 as you're passing through, and then all of a sudden a troll swings in through the trees and you're face to face with this thing. That's the kind of stuff that catches you off guard and gets you excited to continue playing. Then next, we have monsters. And these are rules to run and design monsters. So I won't go through all of it, but you can make your own monsters. You can flip through here. You can see their stats, and they aren't overwhelming or hard to understand. And it tells you how to understand them over here. So as you run monsters, you can very easily drop them into your game, know what they look like, know what they do, but not have to go through all of the hoops to really create something compelling, because these monsters help do that for you. And if you want to be compelled a little bit more, you can make it weird and give them mutations or generate the monster on the fly. This game gives you so many resources to make the game what you want. And that's what solo play is all about. It's about making the game yours. Next, we get into treasure. And there are tables, there's design, there's how to award it, and the treasure itself. So, as you go into this, if your characters are level 0 to 3, you can roll on this table when they find something, and so on until you're a level 10 plus. So, then you have mundane items, luxury items. You can give your characters boons, which was one of the very first things that I was able to do as my goblin priest, Yarki, encountered this avatar of his god. And from that, he got this benefit. And so there are these things that are added in this game that are just everywhere throughout it that help you to craft your own game and make it compelling to you, make it important to you. And so you can do all of this and so many tables. And I haven't used half of these, honestly. And that's what's really cool to me, is you aren't, even after running dozens and dozens of sessions in SoloDark, in Shadowdark, I have not run out of things to use from this book. And it tells you how to design magic items as well, and then gives you, obviously, a quick rundown of just 24 pages, I think, of magic items that you can throw into your game right now. But it's just as fun to make your own. So you're equipped to do that as well. And so after you go through all of that, at the end, you've just got a few credits and then one more of these reference tables that has been very helpful to me. But this wouldn't be as amazing of a supplement for solo play if it didn't have this right here. And this very small printed out version of SoloDark is what I would consider to be like an adult holding my hand as I crossed the street to this amazing building that I was going to spend all of this fun time in, but at least they helped me walk across so I didn't get run over by any vehicles. Because if I would have tried to play solo without this, I would have been run over. I would have not known what to do. But SoloDark, which is free, again, is such a valuable resource. It teaches you everything. It tells you what an oracle is, what a prompt is, the modified rules, because in this game, typically, you would be using torchlight as you enter into these dark places that has an actual hour timer. But if I just flipped on an hour timer and I'm playing by myself, I mean, that's a long time. I'm never running out of light. But this switches those rules up. This gives you modified things, like it makes combat even more wild and wacky. It gives you luck tokens for doing certain things, and it tells you how to get started and how to jump into adventures. It also gives you solo examples. It shows you different YouTube channels, different blogs, different podcasts, different social media references, monsters, NPCs, treasure, encounter, dungeon, wilderness, all of these awesome things that Kelsey Dion over at Arcane Library took the time to link and just give people a reference, because it's kind of hard to get into things when you don't know what you're doing. So I looked up some of these things, and that was really helpful for me. Then you've got different dungeon generators, and then the Oracle, which is just who you ask questions to. It's a system where you roll dice, and you get yes, no, a twist, or any number of different things. No, but, yes, and different things that really teach you the fundamentals of solo play in a very quick and easy to digest way. And then you've got these prompts, which have produced some of the craziest things in my game just by me rolling on them and trying to interpret what was being said to me by the dice and by these tables. So, the real question now is, how do you solo play? I'd love to hear about what you find simplifies the game for you. Or maybe you don't like simplifying play and would rather have a robust rule set, and I'd love to hear about what you think in the comments. So, sound off down there and let's help each other grow in the hobby. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.